And boom, welcome to Tokyo Tonight. I am discovering how tough it is to try to do three things on a Sunday night, which is to edit my show for this week for Japan Business Time, to do a 30-minute Japanese live broadcast just before this, and to prepare all the articles for doing this show, which is what I am doing at the moment, and I really failed miserably at getting ready for the Japanese show. So I am sorry about that. I only got about 15 minutes in for that, but I am here for Tokyo Tonight. I am relatively on time, so that is good, and it's good to see all of you guys. Although yes, I would like to build up and do the Japanese one properly as well. Hope you are all well. I am tired, but it's all good. Got a lot going on at the moment, but yeah, having lots of fun. I've been trying to follow the election results tonight as I try to get through all my work. I suppose it's been kind of interesting. It's been as expected. The opposition has kind of been nowhere, and in fact the decision of the Communists and the Democratic Party and a lot of the opposition parties to coordinate, to not compete against each other, to try to maximize the chance of beating the LDP has backfired, because a lot of people who don't want to vote for the Communists don't want to vote for the DPJ if they're cooperating with them. So the DPJ has just kind of been destroyed, the Democrats, and it looks like the LDP is comfortably going to end up, at least through its coalition with Komeito, having a 2/3 majority tonight. So which is enough to change the constitution if they want to do that, and if they can get Komeito to agree. It'll be interesting to see actually how big the win is, but it's going to be pretty substantial. Very good to see everyone. Let's see who's here before we kick off. So we've got Fox Morris, good to see you, Fox Morris. Razo Go, Mata Gaijinka, Mr. Kodichip, Andrea Moboy, great to see you. Who else we got here? We got Phoenix 787, we got Tai Nakamura, Ohayo gozaimasu to you, sir. Herb Tucker, the Sergeant Bilko, good to see you. Robert Ryan, Barringer, great to see you. Hidden Butter Chick, indeed. Robert Ryan, good to Renee Hartman, Kif Ogon. I don't actually recognize that name. Kif Ogon, good to see you. And let me just make this window bigger so I can see this while looking straight ahead at the screen. Who else we got in here? Ohayo Yuki, good to see you. Good to have you in here, Ohayo Yuki. Mr. Cordy Chip, I think we've already said. There's Ben Duncan, good to see you again. Talking to Mr. Timiko L, good to see you. Indeed, waving is Icarus 18, excellent to see you. And an awesome crowd, and really Sumi-chan, William Chesa, there's a name I don't recognize. Good to see you, Sir Leedy, good to see you, Sir Leedy. Can you send Grumpf to Japan? No, you cannot. You are stuck with him, just like Britain is stuck with its decisions, and America is going to have to live with its own. Odie Jr., good to see you, Odie Jr. Good morning from Missouri. Indeed, the elections are coming along awesome if you don't like change. It's been pretty much a runaway for the for the government. Ben Duncan is asking me, do I know Tyson Bettino? You met him yesterday and noticed that I am subscribed to his channel. I'm not sure. The name doesn't ring a bell, but I could be subscribed to him. For anyone who I notice I subscribe to, so I might go and check that later. In Phoenix, you're advocating support for a candidate without any hope of you're in a two-party system. Third-party candidates don't work in the US electoral system. They work in Japan because you have multiple representation. In Tokyo, there are 6 seats, there are 6 representatives, so you can actually have, as we have a communist, a Sokogakai, LDP, Minshinto, and possibly even an Osaka Ishinoka. You can have up to 5 parties representing from Tokyo. The system is designed to maximize representation of parties. America, it's a winner-takes-all system, so which means that, again, just like you'll get with Nader, he can get 30% of the vote and not a single delegate for the president. So voting for a third party in America is a complete waste of time, and it basically only hurts the person that you would have voted for who is in the top 2 by taking a vote away from them. It's the same as not voting, and it's a complete waste of time. And if you are from America, you are silly if you vote for a third party candidate, unless they really have a realistic chance of actually winning. Which Perot is the only person who's come close to doing that since like Roosevelt. So yeah, that would be Phoenix. He seems like a nice person, but I don't think anyone from America should ever vote for a third-party candidate unless literally the Democrats or Republicans are collapsing. So there you go. Crazy Tigerman 19. Butter references don't even go there. It's a sore point for me. Japan has butter shortages, and I complain about it. Nicholas Rapp, good to see you. Oh, and the Wimbledon final. Keep me updated. I'm kind of interested actually on how that goes. That's right. We all love butter. Who doesn't love butter? If you don't like butter, you can. Well, please watch. I have no pride. In fact, I'll accept margarine consumers, yogurt consumers, even people who refuse, who pour like olive oil on their bread. I mean, well, what is with that? I don't understand that at all. But even if you do that, I will accept you as a viewer here, because I'll take anybody. I know nothing about Johnson other than that he's from a party that doesn't have a chance of winning a single electoral college candidate, and thus paying attention to him is a waste of my time. I do know about the Libertarian Party like that much, but yes. And Solidi, that's right, he was a whacked out little gnome, and he actually took a lot of votes. I mean, he got Clinton elected. Don't forget, he took votes away from from Bush Senior. Ohio Yuki, good to see all you guys. You have to vote, of course. Australians have to vote, and you all did. And in spite of that, it's been a week and you don't have a result. That is funny. But again, Phoenix, he's not going to get any electoral candidates. He's not going to get a single electoral candidate. It's not possible. Electoral college representatives. The US system, based on the representatives from each state, he doesn't have a chance of getting. Name for me one state, and I'll bet you $1 million that he does not get a single representative from any state. Now let's take Arizona. Seriously. It's a complete waste of time. The electoral system in America is designed to prevent people like Johnson or the Libertarian Party ever having a single representative get through. It's a complete waste of time. Compulsory voting in Australia. So Australia's really interesting at the moment because they have what's called a hung parliament, and they actually have, usually Australia's a winner-takes-all system, but there are enough that basically all the crazies hold the balance of power, and it looks like this guy who got the attention of the BBC during the Australian election campaign for having election campaign commercials where he wears a big sort of Australian cowboy hat, and was shooting pictures of the other candidates from both the Conservative and the Liberal parties. And he's the guy who holds the balance of power in Australia now, which seems kind of appropriate. North Queensland. Queensland is kind of crazy. I see people were talking about Pauline Hanson there as well. So, these are the people who represent the rednecks in Australia who are proud of how ignorant they sort of are, So yeah, it is kind of scary that they have the balance of power, especially when you consider that, that there's been a swing to the left in Australia, but the result of it is that it's caused this need for, some extremist small parties that can actually be more right-wing to hold the balance of power, but that is about it. Matagajinka, no, I don't have it, but I will happily receive it. By the way, Matagajinka, if you think I'm wrong, can you, yes, I read that today, Andre Mobo, that Labour conceded, but, I don't think they want to be government in the way that they'd have to set one up at the moment. Matagajinka, I'd love to hear your, if I'm being, if I'm being harsh on Phoenix's choice. So New Mexico, Alaska, and Colorado will probably vote for Johnson ahead of Trump or Hillary Clinton. And we'll give him electoral candidates for those states, electoral college candidates. Phoenix, I got you on that. New Mexico, you heard it here first. In New Mexico, Alaska, and Colorado, and I'll take any one of those three. I'll put up my imaginary $1 million that I don't have and that I'm not serious about, and we'll see. I'll tell you what, I will not criticize or question a single political judgment of Phoenix ever again. If Johnson pulls off a single electoral candidate win from any of those three states. There you go. So I'll be nice. I will lay off. But otherwise, I think it's a waste of time. Pauline Hanson. Yeah, you should. Americans should Google Pauline Hanson. She's probably a bit like how could I put it? She's like a stupid housewife version of those 1960s, what are Stormin something, like the old 1960s anti-civil rights movement people. She's Please Explain is her campaign. Very popular, very, very down-to-earth common sense with other Australians who are also stupid and slightly racist and and they resent that they have to be embarrassed about it. And she gets a lot of support in the state where I am my hometown is now Brisbane. Where I live outside of my home, outside of Japan, is in a state which is basically like the sort of Tennessee or Mississippi of, except it's the size of Texas, but it's politically and socially a bit like 1960s, you know. It's the crazies outside of Brisbane are pretty intense in Queensland. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well, we'll see if he gets any electoral college votes, but yeah, I think he's wasting everybody's time campaigning, and he should just stop. So what do I think of the cat politicians, Satoshi Shima, and the cat poster campaign in Mika Aichi? I wasn't aware of this. Should the Tokyo Runner candidate get inspired by that? I don't know about the Tokyo Runner candidate. Oh, you mean Jonathan Tame? I don't know about this. I'd like to know about the cat candidate. I was paying attention last night. I talked on 2.5 Oyajis about the 28 candidates for the 6 seats in Tokyo. It's sad to say that none of Victor's choices got anywhere near getting elected. Oh, Asahi Byogo did. The former Asahi Byogo did, but the medical marijuana, the feminist, the hippie anti-radiation person, none of them got elected. So there you go. Hey, Andrea Mobo, that's right. And actually, I think owning a fish and chip shop is actually a pretty good qualification, and that is why she is popular. Actually, and nothing wrong with fish and chip shops. I mean, unless they're really shitty fish and chip shops, in which case they should be put in jail. But yeah, if it's a good fish and chip shop, they're a community hub in Australia. That's actually a recommending thing. But the problem is, obviously, she just has a lot of really stupid. Maybe it's the lead in the fish or something like the mercury. You know. Anyway. Well, you're in Melbourne. Don't feel too safe being down in Melbourne. But yes, it is. And bear in mind that half of Brisbane are people from Melbourne. So elections are interesting. Anyway, Google halal snack for Pauline Hanson. She's the Aussies version of Cletus wife. From The Simpsons. No, that's right. Well, I know this, and you know I love halal food, so you know she's missing out. The Taro Yamamoto dude's name is well, what is it? He's the hippie guy with the back of the hat cap, and he didn't even get like any votes, so it doesn't matter. So I'll go through this. I'll go through this with you. In terms of stuff which I've been tweeting this week that I put in my topics, this is a blog from 3 years ago which got circulated again in Japanese, talking about how white women can't get D. In well, as Michaela put it on Twitter, she was saying, you know, some girls they complain about not getting any D, but it's not that hard. And I was reading it, I was thinking to myself, D, defense. Oh, yeah. Apparently they have trouble finding D, but you know, I mean, again, it just depends on where you're looking. I mean, people are looking in the wrong place. In terms of the election result, this pretty much sums up the election. This is a Nichan thing. On the right, on this side of the picture, two people. One's holding a sign saying, "We cannot forgive Abe economics." These are, you know, basically your Yamamoto Taro supporter, basically people anti-government and anti-Abe protesters. And that nice lady waving and smiling and posing for a photo next to them while they look very, very upset is the Prime Minister Abe's wife. And that this to me is like just sums up the entire election. The international media likes to paint a lot about how there are all of these protest movements against Abe and how terrible, you know, how Abe is like the new Gestapo and all this sort of stuff. And Abe's wife is just there with him going, hey. And that's pretty much the election result. They just smashed them, you know, and there are no people there. So that was funny. Now, who posted this? Tomas Kugler was good enough to post me a picture of how he watches Tokyo Tonight, which apparently, if you are there right now, you know, give it we're all there pushing with you, you know. Short breaths, time them. Someone said that this might be me, but there again, I pointed out, if this was me, I would just put a mirror in the bathroom. And seriously, anyone who, if you ever are dating someone and you go into their bathroom and you find a mirror there, run out of the apartment. That's a red flag that you don't want to deal with the consequences of. I don't watch myself on crapper. If I help. Well, you know what, if I help people, I mean, I try to help people in any way that I can. I try to give you knowledge about what's going on in Japan. I try to give you adjustment for how to deal with different opinions here, and for some people they say that I help them get to sleep. It turns out I help people in ways that I never even imagined, and I'm glad to be helping. So who knows, maybe it works. Just try it out sometime. This is a Japanese article on how more and more young people are choosing not even to date people, or let alone have plans to get married. They don't even want to be in relationships because it's just too much of a pain. And oh, indeed, I will by request. Let's put that on there. Yes. So yes, indeed, fewer people. Well, this is probably why, because people are at home doing YouTube videos and making themselves pretty much impossible to date, right? More and more young people are doing that, and you know what? World's going to hell in a handbasket. The advantages of having a family, or expectations of getting a pension payment or anything like that, everyone already knows it's a waste of time. So they might as well, basically just take off the clothes and party. Like the world's going to end, and that's what young people are doing, and they're right about that. This is the Tokyo subway map. And as this article points out, it doesn't just freak out foreigners, although it definitely does freak out foreigners. It freaks me out. Can I zoom in on that? I can't. But this is, when I first arrived in Tokyo, I had to see this map in Japanese, and I had to figure out where I was, and I had to figure out how to get to Itabashi Station from Shinjuku. And I had no idea. But yes. Oh man, Phoenix. Seriously, you eat all that Taco Bell and Shake Shack. I mean, I tell you again, I used to eat a lot of junk food, and that stuff, it affects, the fat in that, it affects the circulation, where you need it, like on the hair follicles and stuff like that. Dude, that shit will not only make your shit yellow, it'll make you go bald. Dude, just don't say I didn't warn you when it happens. I'm being kind of mean to Phoenix, but seriously, dude, you shouldn't be bragging about Taco Bell or Shake Shack or voting for libertarians. Some good news in Okinawa, which there's something you don't say every day. Some good news from Okinawa. There's some good news from Okinawa. Check it out. They have become the next city. Naha, the capital of Okinawa, is recognizing civil unions of homosexuals, same-sex partnerships. Woohoo, good on you. It's interesting, given that these have only really happened in Tokyo until now. It was like, this is a very urban, sort of liberal urban kind of a thing. So there was an interesting thing why this is happening in Okinawa. But there again, Okinawa has always been very aware of its sort of minority status. They consider themselves a racial minority and cultural minority within Japan. They also traditionally vote communist and far left, so they're very kind of socially aware and so on. And it's good for them anyway that they are. Oh, okay. Sorry, Phoenix. I thought you were like bragging that your poop was coloured in a certain way because of going to Taco Bell and Shake Shack, which it was cool going to Shake Shack, by the way, with you. But Taco Bell was like, geez, that is a crime against humanity. That food. I could not go back there again. I could go back there. I just wouldn't eat anything. But anyway, good on you, Okinawa, and it's good to see that in Japan, and this is happening without any real debate or criticism at all. There's no real, other than the fact it's just a little bit unusual, there's no real backlash against this, or anyone saying, well, you can't do that. People sort of acknowledge, yeah, why not? So that's kind of nice anyway. This is, I was just talking about this guy in Japanese before. The former Prime Minister, who is also head of the Japan Rugby Union and the head of the Japan Olympic Committee, has told athletes going to the Olympics that unless they shout out the Japanese national anthem on the medal podium and as a team during the opening ceremony and so on, if they don't sing the national anthem loudly, they don't have any right to be representing Japan at the Olympics. There is the thing, if you have heard the Japanese if you've heard the Japanese national anthem, it isn't really the sort of anthem that you belt out. I mean, there are anthems that you belt out. There's the French national anthem, the Argentinian national anthem. These are anthems made to be sung, screaming and crying and shouting and angry, and these are emotional anthems. But Kimigayo is not really, you wouldn't do, well, some people probably have, but you wouldn't do a death metal version of Kimigayo. It just wouldn't sound right. But so demanding people belt it out seriously, you got to be. It's not that sort of an anthem. It's actually more dignified, standing there in a way and listening to it. That's what kind of works during the Olympics. So, the fact that he's kind of demanding more nationalism from sports athletes, is kind of awkward. And this is the most unpopular and shortest lived Prime Minister of the whole post-war period. A complete failure as a politician who's just gone on to just be an embarrassment to the country in his new roles. And and the bad news is that he's quite healthy and he's probably going to be around for the 2020 Olympics. So there you go. I don't know about the Italian national anthem. What is that like, Mr. Cordice? But yeah, the Argentinian one's pretty crazy. And yeah, he's an embarrassment to Japan. I just thought this was a nice picture. There's Kumamon. He's enjoying the summer. Come down to Kumamoto. It has beautiful beaches, lots of islands. It's a very we've got a very large coastline for a prefecture. Oh, hope my battery lasts. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to make that low battery mode, low power mode. I don't ignore the Italians. I just can't remember their anthem offhand, and I don't know if it's the sort of anthem that you shout. Matagaijinka, I'm pretty sure it's been done. But anyway, so these are news stories which just cover the truth, which is that there has been very little choice with the election. In fact, when it came up to actually really looking at all 28 candidates for Tokyo and thinking about the choices, here's how it basically boils down. LDP and Komeito are doing okay-ish. No one has a real coherent alternative to them. The Democrats certainly don't. The Democrats are tanking at the moment. The only party which actually, in terms of policies and ideology, has anything that close to what I would support is the Osaka Ishinokai, which is ridiculous, because the Osaka Ishinokai's primary purpose is to reform and improve the standing of Osaka and nowhere else. But they actually have politicians, a number of kind of high-power politicians, who basically talk about structural reform, bureaucratic reform, and things which I think Japan sort of needs, that the Democrats themselves used to stand for but abandoned when they came into power. So in terms of being the inheritors of the policies that got the Democrats elected, it's the Osaka Ishinokai. And that's why I hope that they claim the number 6 position. I don't know if they've done that yet, but the number 6 position for Tokyo is being contested between the second candidate for the DPJ and the Osaka Ishinokai, and that'll be interesting to watch. But the communists got a secure seat, so yay communists. Oh, it's Victor in here. Hey, Gimmeabreakman, welcome. So yeah, the results were, as I was just saying earlier, whoa, hang on. As I was saying earlier, the your medical marijuana, feminist, hippie, anti-radiation candidates, none of them did very well, but the Asahi Byogo was I think the number 1 candidate from Tokyo, and we're trying to find out right now if whether a guy that I suggested would be the person I would support. It looks like he might get in at number 6, but we will see. Anyway, so it's interesting. Racist guy, I want to see how many votes he got. Should we see how many votes he got? That would be kind of interesting. Let's do that. So let me go over here. And let's see how we're doing for Tokyo. That is my Twitter. You can see all my sexy tweets. By the way, feel free to follow my Twitter. Get me to 10,000. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that'd be kind of interesting. So, in terms of the goals, the electoral goals that the LDP had, this is actually a very good summary put together by Tobias Harris. Basically, to get a supermajority, you need 162 seats in Parliament, and there are currently 120 up for election. If the ruling parties, both of them together, get a combined total of 78 seats, that will get them to the 162, which means that they can change the constitution, so that'll be interesting. Abe set a victory line for declaring victory if he gets 61 seats in this election, which he's already broken. What else we got? LDP, in order to get an absolute majority on its own for the first time since 1989, it only needs 57, but they're already going for more than that, and they've got that, so they can actually rule now without Komeito if they want to. And and just to maintain a simple majority, LDP and Komeito just need 46, but they're already, LDP's already confirmed at 63 or 65 or something. Komeito's confirmed at 15, so they're actually really going for the 78 at the moment. Yeah, it's a big night, and it's just been a landslide for the Democrats. Sorry, for the LDP. So where is the? Here is the Yomiuri thing, which actually has the election results at the moment. So let's just see how the racist guy did, because that was kind of interesting. I mentioned last night on 2.5 Oyajis, I featured all 28 candidates for Tokyo. This is a guy who's campaigning that he does not want his face shown. At the moment, I am waiting to see. There still isn't much of a difference between. It looks like this guy Ogawa is ahead of Tanaka. These two guys. Well, it's pretty close. 289,000 votes to 246,000 votes. Number one, Renho, 611,000 votes. She used to be an Asahi beer model. Number two, Mr. LDP. He's 500,000. Religious group lady, 428,000. Communist, 349,000. This is Japan. Communists come in pretty strong as the third most popular party, or fourth most popular party. This guy used to be a beach volleyball Olympic athlete. He is promising to remain good looking and wear speedos at every opportunity. And so the runoff at the moment is for the 6th place between these two guys, and I really actually would like to see this guy, Tanaka, Mr. Tanaka, get it. But this guy, 289,000, seems to be in the box seat. I don't want him to get it, actually, even though he's Democrats. The hippie that Victor wanted, here, 87,000 votes, but he's like in 8th place, so he's not going to get there. Shamin, she used to be a member of a radical anti-Iraq war kawaii kei idol group, which she forms herself to dance against war. And I'm trying to think, which was the marijuana lady? I think this was the marijuana lady. And you know what? She got 10,000 votes, and I think they were all in Koenji, probably. So there you go. Is there someone in the comments trolling? Hey, there's Tokyo Town tonight. I see it. I'm doing good, Tokyo Town tonight. Victor, this is my phone. Welcome to my phone. Everything is visible. So yeah, racist guy. Racist guy got 3,132 votes. Good news is that is more than Crazy wants war of Armageddon with China. So that's kind of good. But yes, and he got less than the feminists. But these are the results so far. It is still part of the way through anyway. This is war Armageddon with China. This is every gaijin fuck yourself and go home please. This is we must all go on strike and bring down the government. And these people don't have home pages, or I don't know why they're even campaigning. And it's kind of funny that this guy at the bottom, he's requested, he lives in Kanagawa, doesn't live in Tokyo, he's unemployed, he is not affiliated with any political party. He's requested that no one posts his photo or any information about him, and he has 4 votes. He has 4 votes. He has to pay a lot of money to run in the election. And here's the irony, look at this. This guy has his photo up, and he's actually head of I believe the World Peace Party, and he also only has 4 votes, which is the same as an unemployed guy who refuses to allow photos or information to be published about himself. That'd be pretty depressing, actually. The bottom end of this, you know, and this guy I think looks like Ralph, you know, like the piano playing dog from the Muppets. That's my assessment. But anyway, so actually the bottom end of the scale is just as interesting as the top. But I'm afraid that a lot of Victor's canners. This guy put posters all over Tokyo, thousands of dollars. This guy at the top here, Yanagisawa, wearing a doctor's suit, saying, I'm a doctor and I'm going to cure politics. And he got 10 votes. Again, I guess if he got a lot of family members to vote, there's a big jump, isn't there? Look at this this guy Sato, who I suggested is trying to campaign for votes from everybody who is named Sato. Got 14 votes, and the next person above him got 1,000 votes. So that's quite a big gap if you think about it. This guy Hamada actually seems kind of reasonable. I saw his page. It's kind of a shame that he is losing to wants to end the world with nuclear war with China guy, who's also a musician. I don't know how you would make that rhyme. Gary Johnson. Mataga Shinka, you are trolling. You are too cruel. You are too cruel. Stop hassling Zach. But yeah, I'd say pretty much that is at the bottom there. Well, here's the difference. Gary Johnson would allow his photo to be posted, so he'd probably be the second to bottom guy rather than the bottom guy, although they both have 4 votes. But yeah, that'd be really depressing, being equal to a unemployed guy from Kanagawa who refuses to allow his photo to be published. So anyway, Vero-chan, glad that you enjoy it. So we're still waiting to see who the 6 representatives from Tokyo will be, but seriously, the whole thing is a runaway. And so Victor, this is the problem as well. Sundays are family days for me too, and so at night it's kind of crazy. But man, Saturday and Sunday together is just tough. I don't get anything done. But anyway, so that's the election result. Let's go back to the here. So that is the election. Not much to it, pretty much, other than just seeing how the crazy people are doing. Hey, Tokyo Comedy Network. Hey, good to see you. That, I believe, is the guy who I saw at the Creator Day thing, and excellent to see you, Tokyo Comedy Network. That is awesome. What do we got here? Tokyo Olympics. That's right. They're looking for volunteers that they want to have work basically for free under extremely onerous labor contracts, which is pretty harsh. This was kind of interesting. So this thing with, every day there's been another massive shooting in America, of course, police shooting somebody, mass shootings, and then we have this crazy guy who shot like 5 police officers in Dallas. And so the police, and this was the first time I've ever heard of using a bomb disposal robot to deliver a bomb to blow a guy up. And this is an interesting, what do we think about this? And so this is the police used a robot to kill someone. And you know what I figure? If the police are committed to trying to find a way to kill a guy who's killing police officers, it doesn't really make a difference at the end of the day. It's not like when they are shooting, they're trying to make it more fair by, marching 10 paces or anything like that. If they get a clean shot, they shoot him. And if they don't get a clean shot, at the end of the day, what's the difference between sending a bomb on a Roomba around the corner, or shooting them with a drone, or even like attaching a machine gun to like a DJI Phantom or something like that? The only thing that's a little bit worrying about this is that the idea that this sort of thing could be done by the criminals themselves. At the moment, it's just the police, but in the end of it, you think about it, it's not going to be that hard, or probably that long, before someone like the shooter in this case. I mean, again, there was somebody who was arrested from this protest for carrying a machine gun over his shoulder during the protest, and he's complaining how his rights were violated, that he was arrested after 5 police were shot from people in this protest, because Texas is an open carry state. And I suppose if you come from a state where you are allowed to walk around with machine guns in public, yeah, it'd be pretty unreasonable for the police to arrest you after a massacre of police officers by people in the protest. But to everywhere else in the world, yeah, of course you got arrested. What the hell are you doing carrying a rifle around in public? Are you crazy? But that's Texas, apparently. And again, so then I just look at the whole thing and I just think, man, you guys just have to sort out your own problems, because it gets tiresome reading about them. I mean, yay with open carry and stuff like that, but seriously. But I know we are now in an age where police, will use robots and drones to shoot people, and probably before long you're going to see robots and drones being used in attacks. And it'd be really interesting, interesting would be terrible, but when the reverse of this happens, the psychological effect of that. Tokyo Town Tonight. Listen, I don't know all of the stuff between you and Victor, but suggest both of you just keep it quiet. If I see you on this channel in these comments kind of breaking the rules, if I don't see it, I don't give a shit. But if you do break the rules in this one and you do start getting offensive, I will block, right? So don't do it. And Mr. Peru includes calling someone Mr. Peru. That's a strike, and so that's a second strike for you, Tokyo Town Tonight. So yeah, anyway, please stop. Just be nice to each other. I don't give a shit, right? But I am going to block otherwise. Yes, this is something else which bothers me. This is a news story about, there was an 8-year-old lady who was found chopped up in a pond. Not nice. Doesn't happen all the time. Tokyo Town Tonight. Well, I kind of agree, but and Berenger has a point as well. In the comments on this video, you get judged by how you behave on this video. So yeah, I'm not going to block you, but at the same time, just don't get into it, please. Someone finds a chopped up body the police immediately announced, and NHK says they launched an investigation into improper disposal of a body. And the reason that they do this, I mean, this looks like a pretty obvious case. It's pretty hard to think that this was natural causes or suicide when they find a body in 20 parts in a pond. That doesn't, illegal disposal of a body isn't the first thing that you really think about in a crime story like that. And if you think that the police are looking for, illegal mortuary services, I mean, basically illegal disposal of a body, they're basically saying, this is like somebody who didn't know what to do when grandma died and they threw the body in a pond. That's the charge that you would put on the Forrest Gump son who didn't know what to do with finding grandma's body dead, so threw her in a pond. But no, this is clearly not a case like that. This person has been chopped up into multiple parts and put into a pond. And, the reason that the police announce this as a illegal body disposal case is basically that they want to double the time that they can detain without charging the person. They want to hold they want to investigate on the basis it's an illegal body disposal and any other technicality they can get so that they can run them together. So that when they use I think in Japan it's something like 3 days they can hold you without charge in detention. It's a long period of time. When that time runs out, they'll try to get you to confess that whole time. When that time runs out, rather than having to let you go, they will detain you on the new charge of murder. And they'll try to get all the information they can before that. So it basically means it's an excuse to double the detention time, which is pretty much a deliberate undermining of the human rights and it's the whole reason that you have a limit on the length of detention. And it's because the cops are lazy about getting evidence. They just want to force a person to confess, and the longer you hold someone in coercive circumstances, the more likely you can get a false confession, and that is what they want. So with murder cases, rather than saying that they are investigating a murder, they say that they're investigating improper disposal of a body, and it's part of a tactic to basically get around the rules about how long they're allowed to detain and coercively interrogate someone, which is pretty obnoxious. So yes, that is how it works in Japan, and as a result you get these things where seriously, they could find a body with cut into 20 parts and machine gunned and blown up, and they would still say it was improper disposal of a body case. So yeah, and that's right, Victor, by the way, you are a mod. You're like a permanent mod on this channel, so I would actually prefer, Victor, if you not go swearing back and forth in the comments, and that you just do what you're going to do if you do that. So yeah, that was the post from earlier tonight, and that is all the topics that I had. Actually, I'm already through. I didn't have much time to prepare, and littering is a serious crime. That is true, Barringer. You make an excellent point there, which I didn't give the full consideration. So yeah, so anyway, it looks like I have run out of topics for tonight. Is there anything you'd like me to discuss? I could go through the election results again, if you'd like that. I'm pretty easy on this sort of stuff. These were the candidates, by the way. They were an interesting bunch of people, actually. Who we got here? We got I can tell you how they did as well. So the people that we had. In fact, I can switch back and forth. I can check. I've got the results open here. So, yeah, Takagi. So she was the medical marijuana advocate. She actually got 10,000 votes, which was kind of interesting for someone who campaigned for Japan. Actually, that is kind of surprising. Let me just confirm this. Let me go and open up my Twitter here so I can tell you how each one of these candidates did in the result. That's what I'll do, and we'll do a Q&A. Yeah, seriously, everyone shut up about Joe, please. It's fucking boring, actually, and it's annoying that you guys are... I'm capturing the live comments on this, so I don't want you guys to be, like, having stupid fights like that. Gary Johnson. Let's talk about Gary Johnson. Yeah, seriously. I mean, the guy's probably a nice enough guy, but, why would anyone vote for that guy, seriously? I mean, again, if they think he actually has a chance, it's all good. But anyway, I'm kind of trolling while I'm scrolling, trying to get the Let me put this down here. Let me put this down here. Cynical use of illegal body disposal. That's right. Here are the Yomiuri election results. So let me open this up. So let's go through this. Medical marijuana, Takagi. So where is she? Takagi. In fact, let me go down. Takagi. Oh. Takagi. I couldn't really find her there that way. But there we go. She is on. There she is. Wow, she's doing really good. She got like 13,000 votes so far. She is polling just behind the really racist guy who, wow. Oh, who's on 5,800 votes. This is with the vote. How much has this been counted so far? It is continuing to update. Renho was like on 741,000, by the way. So she's actually gotten over 10,000, which is pretty respectable for a marijuana candidate. I'm guessing all of those votes were from Koenji, by the way. Hey Theodore, good to see you, ma'am. And Arte, good to see you. Yes, indeed, the medical marijuana, the media crap has been going about the Pokemon Go players in danger, apparently. Ahmed also, great to see you, by the way. Yeah, that's right. Is she an actress? Oh, okay. Well, there you go. She seems to love the herb. And Mariko Suzuki, she's from the Nihon no Kokoro Taisetsu ni Suru Kai. This is the party that used to be the Sunrise Party that Random Yoko is really active around. She came to Tokyo campaigning for them. They changed their name. I think that her candidate, by the way, who she's been campaigning for in this election in Fukuoka, I believe, got smashed. He didn't get elected anyway, but she's continuing to stick it out with those guys. But basically, they're basically very conservative. They want to rewrite the constitution and all that sort of stuff. Power to them. But how did you do, Mariko Suzuki? There are lots of Suzukis in this election. Suzuki Mariko, 27,300. She didn't do too bad, actually. She did come behind the socialists, which I'm sure will annoy her, but that's still being counted. She came behind Taro Yamamoto's hippie guy. But that's actually reasonably respectable. So there you go. Yasuo Tanaka, he is the guy currently in 7th, but I'm hoping he makes it to 6th so he gets represented. Ahmed would have voted for the marijuana girl. There you go. Who else have we got? Candidate 4 is the Adachi guy who's unaffiliated from. So what's his name again? Let's check this guy out. Who is this guy? Oh, I can actually. So you know what? I can actually get the results by just clicking on the name for some of these guys. So this guy is from Adachi. He is a member. He is the head of a civic group. He is from Adachi. He's 80 years old, and he has how many votes? Let's see. I'm pretty sure he'll be down near the bottom because he doesn't have a homepage or any social media. He's gotten 75 votes. 75 votes. Good on you, Mr. Adachi. You got 75 votes. And in a city of like 6 million voters, he got 75 votes. Well, it implies more than family members, so that's doing pretty well. That's right. Rena Masuyama, the Socialist Party, formerly the North Korean head of a kawaii anti-war group, came in just ahead of the right-wing Constitutional Revision Party. She actually got Rena Masuyama, 30,092. She's like coming 10th at the moment, so she's not going to get represented, but pretty respectable showing. Yukio Iwasaka, it looks like Ralph from the Muppets. This guy, so he is actually currently rocking on 5 votes. He's on 5 votes, and that is with updates. So he is just ahead of the guy, the two guys, who, basically, I mean, that means that probably even most of their family didn't vote for them. Unless they come from like really small families, or maybe they're orphans. But seriously, or maybe they don't like their families, or their families don't like them. Yeah, that's pretty rough. That 4 or 5 votes, that really makes you question a lot. Tokuma, scary guy, wants the peace and prosperity, the Kofukujitsu Gento, and with a dynamic single name. He's gotten 2,124 votes, and he's from an Armageddon cult. That's how many members they have in Tokyo. That is interesting. Yohei Miyake, so Yohei Miyake, he's the guy who's currently coming in, and let's count this off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, he's coming ninth. This is the guy that Victor would have voted for. So there you go. Yohei Miyake, he's a kind of wacky leftist hippie guy, but he is doing pretty well. Mitsuo Matayoshi, 72 years old, how was he doing? Oh, didn't even model like that one. Let's see how he's doing. How did you go? Oh yes, I recognize his face. He was way down the bottom. How liked is he by his family? I guess that's the test. He got 226 votes. Oh, now wait a minute. This is updated. And check this out. Mr. No Face, No Name, No Information has 191 votes now, and he is actually ahead of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's beaten like 6 people. Mr. No Information, unemployed, lives in a different city and won't allow a photo of himself to be presented, and he is like beating 6 people. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Mr. Communist Guy is guaranteed. He got elected. He's going to represent Tokyo in the National Upper House, and he got 420,000 votes. He's actually gotten like 11% of the votes so far. So he did pretty well. He's a lawyer, and he's a communist. Good on him. I mentioned there that they're a little bit like Brexit voters. You know, most people who vote communist, they agree with everything they complain about, but they're terrified of them ever actually winning. Pretty much like Brexit, you know. So there you go. Who else we got here? Komeito. So Komeito is the Soka Gakkai Party. She came third. She got like 500,000 votes, 13% of the vote, which is actually about the same rate that the members of that religion, Soka Gakkai, have there. They're like a big like evangelical church, basically, you know, for Buddhists. So that is interesting. What else we got here? We got Tatsu Suzuki. He's the guy who wants to destroy the Abe government with a nationwide general strike. How was he doing? He used to be the NHK union lead. He has 1,100 votes. In fact, it might be just about worth updating this page because these vote numbers have been updated. So yes, he is rocking there at 1,600 votes, and he's coming just behind the Armageddon cult guy, Tokumo. So that is not good. But anyway, yes, indeed, Tatsu is the oldest candidate who has a working homepage. So good on him for that. Kaori Sato, the feminist. That's interesting. Sato Kaori, let's see. Oh, there she is. She's up the top here. She actually came in about 11th. She's not doing too bad. She is the Feminist Party lady. She wants to power Japan with women's rights. She did pretty well. She's got like 0.5% of the vote. You know, pretty respectable. Sitting LDP member, most easily recognizable as a member of the LDP, which you can see. Here you go. I mean, if you just wanted to like CG generate a default image of what an LDP person looks like, that's the face that you would use. That is the face that you would use. Tokyo Comedy Network, that's right. Yeah, well, I am promoting him pretty much with everything that I've got. Phoenix, that's a really stupid thing to say. I'm sorry, I troll you too much, but you make declarations about things. Bear this in mind. Whenever you are in a room anywhere in Tokyo or anywhere in Japan, national statistics say that if there are 10 people or more in that room, there's going to be one member of that religious group in it. And it's just like Christians, it's just like evangelicals, it's the same things. So you can go and say something really stupid about evangelicals being obnoxious or something like that, which you might think. But you're going to really piss off 1 or 2 people in the room. And the difference is that in Japan, they're not going to tell you that you've done that. You're just going to get ostracized, and you're going to suffer for it. So don't rag on SG. I mean, seriously, I mean, there are people who do. They go online to do it anonymously, and lots of people do it. But I wouldn't. Don't rag on them, seriously. I've got, you know, again, it's like saying I hate Christians. It's literally the same thing as saying that, and that's a stupid thing to say. Especially, I've got I know a lot of really great people who are from that group. I would never want to join them. I don't like evangelicals of any religion, really. I find it annoying when they try to proselytize, which these guys sometimes do. But SG are so mainstream. Saying that you can't trust them, that's just like saying you can't trust black people. That's the same rate of the population. I mean, and it's just as silly a thing to say. So you shouldn't go down that road, seriously. Nobuyuki Suzuki, this is my favorite guy. He's So Nobuyuki Suzuki, if you're a foreigner, he actually wants you to fuck yourself and go home. He's got a fantastic blog. It's linked from the if you actually, his homepage is so awesome. Have a look at this. He actually is obsessed with foreigners in Japan, and here's the thing, he is actually like he's just behind the marijuana lady. He's got like 8,000 votes. So I guess given how well racist people do in other places, it's a good sign. Tokyo's doing pretty well. I mean, amongst all these loonies, he is like in 15th place. But check out this blog, man. He's got some posts here. He's just walking around where people don't even speak Japanese anymore. There are foreigners trying to entice unemployed Japanese into getting married in Shibuya. We need to grab control of immigration again. He's basically, the UKIP, BNP, except no one likes him at all, But he's there, and he's getting some votes, so that is interesting. I mentioned Toshio Ogawa, so he is currently competing with Yasuo Tanaka for 6th place for the final seat in Tokyo, and I hope he doesn't get it because he was a member of Noda's cabinet, and I think they should all just be forced to resign. But it looks like he's going to grab it at the moment. This guy, this very good-looking man, Kentaro Asai, used to be a member of Japan's Top Gun beach volleyball team. And apparently, his main policy is to remain good looking. He's just gonna remain tan and fit. He's gonna sponsor. They actually say on NHK that he is going to represent health and fitness within the LDP. I mean, it's like they couldn't even think of a token policy for him to represent other than just being good looking and healthy. In which case, I really hope he doesn't get sick. Because it would be kind of embarrassing. No, seriously, I think he's just going to wear Speedos and, tan. So there you go. Herb is doing pretty well, I see. He's being very popular. Who else we got here? Hidetoshi Yanagisawa. Yes, so here's a doctor who said that he would cure Japan. Before, he only had 1 or 2 votes. How is he doing now? Mr. Yanagisawa, where are you? I'm checking from the bottom. He was just wearing I saw the posters. He has no homepage or social media information, but he just has these posters, billboards everywhere of him just wearing a doctor's white suit saying, "I will cure Japan," and he's got 1,000 votes. I think people have confused him for someone who will come and actually give free medical advice. Who else have we got here? We've got Koki Kobayashi, representative of the Pissed Off People's Party, the Nihon Kokumin no Ikari no Koi Party. I actually looked this up to see what they're pissed off about, and they are pissed off with politicians. They hate government politicians, and they hate left-wing politicians, and he promises to fix it by having people make him a politician. I see a flaw in his plan, but I mean, he's just gonna become obviously maybe he's just a self-hating person. How is he doing for someone who's coming in who wants to be one of the people that he hates? Whoa! Oh my God! He is coming in just behind this. 2 behind the socialists. He's coming in 11th. Holy crap! That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th. He's coming in 12th. He's actually 2 ahead of the marijuana lady and the feminists. So there you go. He just wants to be hated by everybody, and he is beating the feminists and marijuana. Which, by the way, he has 28,000 votes. He's doing pretty well. What else we got here? We got we got the guy. So there's Yokokume Katsuhito, who's another guy. He just wants. He's a lawyer, and he wants all politicians to receive 0 pay. And you know what? I get the feeling he came out really high. Holy crap! I found him. He's coming 8th. So if Tokyo had like one more seat, he would be in with a chance. He has 165,000 votes. He's good looking. He's 35 years old. He's a lawyer. And what is this? He used to be a member of the upper house. So he used to actually be a politician, and he is campaigning to drop everybody to have zero pay. And a lot of people want to vote for him. Wow, he's doing really well. I never would have guessed that, but there you go. Poofy hairstyle, Fumihiko Otsuki. Let's check down the bottom because he has no other information other than bad hair. And this is the thing, I mean, seriously, from my perspective, having hair and letting it go to waste, like not treating it well, it's like someone who can't get married, and then you see a guy who's like married to a supermodel and he slaps her around. It's just completely like unacceptable. And here he is, he's got good hair, and he's just got this terrible hairstyle. Let me show you. I call it poofy. It's not exactly poofy, it's just kind of pushed up, you know. And like I say, I mean, as someone, you know, who would like to have that amount of hair, I just resent that, you know. And so he's got 283 votes. He's basically down way below the margin of error, but you know, no, and that's why I think people recognize that. It's funny now, Aphex, Mark Akasaka was listed as a candidate for Tokyo, and he's not there. I get the feeling he was banned. I think he was pulled up for electoral violations. I would like to check that myself. He's not on the list, and I was wondering about that because Smile Mark Akasaka, apart from being just completely freaking nuts, but he was on a TV debate, like, and I think he actually assaulted somebody. So there you go. He dropped out. He'd drop out, that's right. So, yeah, I wonder what happened with Akasaka. So anyway, he let his hair go away, so no forgiveness there. Hitoshi Sato, he wants everyone else, this is just what I'm guessing. He has no information, so he just wants other people called Sato to vote for him, and he's found 319 other people who will vote for him simply because he has the most common surname in Japan, so there you go. Well, there are a lot of Suzukis in this election. You know, I'm not sure it's good for the image of Suzuki. So yes, there's Takashi Fukae, and probably doesn't want his wife to know that he's running. There is Hiroshi Fujiro. Oh yeah, this is the guy who loves. This is actually one of the people that Victor would have voted for. He works for an NPO. He owns an NPO that helps place disabled people in the community, Fujishiro, and rehabilitates them. So this is someone actually I would be cool with having do okay. Fujishiro, where is that? Scanning. I hope he got a few votes because he seems like a nice person. We were kind of joking around about it last night. It's a bit like there's something about Mary where, you know, you try to pick the most perfect idea, and so she works with disabled people, and so the guy who wants it on her says, yeah, I love retards, you know. And I don't think he's like that. This is a genuinely nice person. But where is he? Let me go here. Let me check his face. How was he doing? This guy. Oh man, he was right down the bottom. That's really a shame if that's the case, because he's another guy that Victor would have voted for. Third from the bottom, only 126 votes. And he was actually, and losing to the guy with no face. And that is something. There he is, 4 places below person with no face or information. That's pretty harsh. That is a shame. Well, Victor's got incredibly bad judgment when it comes to picking candidates. I think we've established that. So who else have we got here? We've got Kenya Himeji, head of the World Peace Party. I'm sure he's doing terribly. Unemployed requested that. This is the guy who did nothing. The very naughty boy and welfare campaigner, and that's pretty much it. So anyway, we still don't have a clear-cut winner at the moment for the 6th seat in Tokyo, but it does look like it is going to go to the DPJ guy, which is kind of a shame. He's got a big lead over Tanaka Yasuo, which is kind of a shame. I would have liked to see him get it, but that is what it is. Lysander 45, not on this election. I have received messages of that nature in the past on my Facebook from Random Yoko. She came on and told me that I should not be talking about elections in regions where I'm not a voter. And I agree with her, which is why I thought it was really interesting when she came and campaigned in the Tokyo governor election. She came from Fukuoka, so she can't vote here, but she campaigned in the election up here for a guy who is now in prison for using political donations to pay volunteers, which you're not allowed to do. I don't know if she actually received money from it either. So I don't. But in any case, she was in a campaign where the head of the campaign was arrested, and she was up in Tokyo. So she's not really criticizing me lately. Well, there again, I don't pay attention to her, and I hope she doesn't pay attention to me. And I'm not advocating for anybody. I think they all suck, equally. I'm even-handed with my judgment, and this is just fun anyway. The 6 people who have been elected are the 6 people who have been elected. There's not a lot to celebrate. We do have the results here. So just to recap, the top people. There we go. Renho at the top, ex-Taiwanese naturalized Japanese citizen, far and away the winner, the most popular person in Tokyo, used to be an Asahi Beer girl, and the right wing hates her because she did this thing about why do we have to be number 1 when she was cutting budgets. Mr. LDP is number 2, Ms. Sokugaka is number 3, Mr. Comrade, Fly Guy Comrade is number 4. Maverick and Goose, like combined in a Japanese person in Speedos and fake tan, is number 5. Good on ya. And Ogawa, there we go, number 6. He is the guy from the Noda cabinet, and I really hope he doesn't get in, but it looks like he's going to get in. He's a sitting representative. And there's a guy I would like to see get in, Tanaka Masu, ex-governor. And the guy behind him wants all politicians not to get paid. And the guy behind him is a hippie. And the person behind him is a anti-war cute idol group lead. And the person behind him is a kind of a far right-wing elderly party who wants to throw away the Constitution. The person behind him is just pissed off at all politicians, feminist, marijuana lady, racist guy. This guy actually seems quite reasonable, policy guy, but he just sits on committees as a hobby. This guy wants the world to end with a nuclear war with China. This person wants all of Japan to go on strike and to bring down the government, but not many people agree with him. This guy's a doctor who's going to cure Japan, and this guy wants people to vote for him because his name is Sato. And crazy people, and person with no face, and crazy people, and finished. So there you go. This is how elections work in Japan. The overall low turnout, 35% turnout, as is typical. Dude, her name, look at her name. This is not a Japanese name, Renho. I think her Chinese name is Lian Fang, but she's naturalized Japanese. Her father is Taiwanese, her mother's Japanese, but she lived in Japan most of her life, and she's a naturalized Japanese citizen. And she's been in parliament forever, and she used to be, Asahi beer girl. So yeah. Anyway, that is the 6th candidate, by the way. Well, you can see down there, they're still counting. These are going to go up, but we'll have a result by the end of the night, and it's just going to be a landslide for the LDP and Komeito, and they can change the constitution. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. And that's Tokyo. And see you guys. Solidi, that is a good quote, by the way. Like Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government, except for all those other forms that have been tried from time to time. Indeed. Have a good night, everybody. It is late. I'm going to go to sleep. You guys all have a good night. Follow the news. Be smart. And see you all later. Have a good one. Peace. Oh yeah, I gotta finish the show now. Here we go. Boom, bada boom. Good night, everyone. Lysander 45, she's Taiwanese, so they are not communists. So there you go.